Western Cape Blood Service is now 85 years old. I think at the 80th anniversary, at that stage you'll all remember we changed our name from the fairly cumbersome Western Province Blood Transfusion Service. And the last 5 years as Western Cape Blood Service have been challenging, but also successful. So the service started way back in 1938 and was actually originally established within Groote Schuur Hospital, originally only supplying the blood requirements for that hospital. Since then there have been a host of changes. In the old days blood used to be collected in glass bottles. These days we collect blood in plastic quad packs. We're doing component processing and have been doing for many years. We're doing individual donation nucleic acid testing to keep the blood supply as safe as possible. And then our footprint has expanded markedly across the province. We have regional branches in Worcester and George, and we have blood banks in every healthcare facility throughout the province. So the last 5 years have been very exciting for Western Cape Blood Service, and one of the biggest projects we've done at the Blood Service, certainly since I've been here, has been the relocation of our headquarters. So everyone will know that we were sited at our old headquarters in Old Mill Road for well over 30 years in a very old building, and several challenges started to become more and more pervasive. The first was that we're running out of space there. The second was that we did not have our warehouse on site. The main reason was it was very difficult with the shape and size of that property to actually do any significant expansion there. So we embarked on a relocation or property build exercise a few years ago, in fact right in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. And we eventually managed to find the site for our new premises. It was a greenfield build, in other words, we started with a vacant piece of land. And that project initiated, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. We completed the building in late 2022, and then the move, which was another significant project, actually took about 2 or 3 months to complete. One of the biggest challenges was that we needed to continue all of our operations without interruption. So the processing, testing, and distribution of blood had to continue as normal, despite having operations at times at 2 different sites. There are several advantages to where we are now. So the first is our proximity to the major freeways is much simpler. Secondly, in the new building, we're now able to have all of our operations in the correct places. So, for example, our laboratories are now on the ground floor. And this is important because the laboratories house a lot of big and heavy pieces of equipment. So when one has to move that, it's a lot simpler than it used to be where we had to hire cranes at the old site. Also, having the warehouse on site is a huge advantage. We are now able to plan and store everything that we need, and then we also have space to grow. So we are hopeful that this site will enable us to gradually increase our capacity, which is inevitable as the province continues to grow, for at least the next 2 decades. Finally, I think it's very important to recognize the efforts of 2 very important groups of people for our cause. The first is obviously all of the staff of Western Cape Blood Service. I think the last 5 years have been extremely challenging. The environment of the coronavirus pandemic has really made working conditions difficult, and you all know that we had to continue our operations seamlessly throughout that period. And then I'd also like to thank the blood donor community for all of the blood that they donate. Without that blood, Western Cape Blood Service would not be able to process, test, and ultimately distribute blood products to patients requiring life-saving blood transfusions in hospitals in the Western Cape. Thank you.